Hello, I'd like to solve a couple problems from different sections. These questions are from section 1.2. Which of the functions are strictly increasing, decreasing, or neither? The cost of a first-class postage on January 1st of each year. The answer would that be the cost of postage increases at the beginning of each year or remains constant for some time. So I would say for this question, neither. The time of sunrise associated with each day of the year. The sunrise times varies on different days, so I would say the answer is neither. The high temperature associated with each day of the year. The high temperature also varies per day, so I would say for this also neither. The closing price of one share of IBM stock for each trading day on the stock exchange. The um, the the closing price can be higher, lower, so it varies. So I would say for D, neither as well. Um, the area of an equilateral triangle in terms of its base, as the length of the base increases, because area is 1/2 base times height. As the base increases, um, the area of the triangle also increases because these are directly related from each other. They're multiplied through on the same level. Um, so the function, I would say, increasing. If I say if base decreases, then area decreases, then the answer would have been strictly decreasing as well. So as base decreases, area decreases, then I would have said this is decreasing. F, the height of bungee jumper T seconds after leaping off a bridge. So the height of the bungee jumper either increases or decreases. So I would say the answer is neither for F. G, the height of a liquid in 55-gallon tank 8 hours after a leak develops. As the tank leaks, I would say height in the liquid tank keeps decreasing. So the function is decreasing. H, the daily cost of heating a home as a function of the day's average temperature. It decreases or increases over time based on the temperature. So H is neither. I, the world record times for running the 100-meter dash is less each time. New record, to be a record time, it needs to be uh, for the 100-meter dash should be less than the record time to be a record. So the function is decreasing. For sketch a graph of a single smooth curve that is first increasing and concave up, increasing and concave up, then increasing and concave down. Sorry. concave up and increasing, and then still increasing but concave down, and finally decreasing, concave down, and finally decreasing, concave down. This will be for 4, and this will be your turning point. Um, its turning points occur from increasing to decreasing, or from decreasing to increasing. And this point here is your inflection point. And that happens, inflection points happens when concavity changes. Problem 5. Sketch the graph of a single smooth curve that is first decreasing and concave up, decreasing and concave up, then increasing and concave up, and finally increasing and concave down. So my turning point from from decreasing to increasing, and inflection point for concave up to down. Question 10. Sales of VCRs grew slowly at first. Let's try to graph this. Of course, in the first quadrant, it says sales and increasing number. So grew slowly at first and then increased tremendously as people came to accept them widely. Eventually, new sales began to level off as market saturation neared. So it grew slowly and then increased tremendously, got faster, and then it leveled off. So I only have here an inflection point. Problem 18. The thermostat in Sylvia's home is set at 66 Fahrenheit. Let's say whenever the temperature drops to 66 every half an hour, the furnace comes on and stays on until the temperature reaches 70 degrees. Temperature in her house as a function of time. Temperature as a function of time. So T of t. So t is here my independent, and capital T is my dependent variable. And so let's say this is 1, 2, every half an hour. It's set to 66, then it reaches to 70 and come back down in half an hour, and then go up and come back down in 1 hour. For B, Gary, who lives in upstate New York, also has his thermostat set to come on 66 Fahrenheit. How will a sketch of the temperature in his house differ from the one you drew in part for Sylvia's house? Since upstate New York is colder than Baltimore. Gary's house will cool faster, causing the oscillation to be faster. C. Jody lives in Florida. Likewise, her thermostat is set to come on at 66. How will the sketch differ? Since Florida is warmer than Baltimore and upstate New York, Jody's house will cool slower. So the oscillation will be much slower. All right, section 1.3, and the balance in B in thousands of dollars in a CD account at a bank is a function of time, given as balance is a function of time. What does f of 4 mean? F of 4 equals 2. Tells us the balance in the CD account after 4 years is $2,000. B, is F an increasing or decreasing? Because CD rate is a fixed rate, interest earned is always being added. So the balance represents an increasing function. Since the interest earned in a CD account, interest earned is compounded, the balance increases at an increasing rate. So I would say the function is concave up. Question 4. The surface area S of a sphere of radius r is 4 pi times the radius. So write a formula for S as a function of r will be 4 pi r square. Problem 6. The pressure P of a gas held at a constant temperature in a container is inversely proportional to the volume If it's a proportion question, I have my proportionality constant always to the volume of the container. Let's It says write a formula for the pressure as a function of volume, my constant always, and it is inversely proportional to the volume, so it will be K over V. For problem 8, when a cup of a hot coffee is left to cool on the table where the air temperature is 70 degrees, the change delta T and the temperature T of the coffee is proportional to the difference between the temperature of the coffee and the room temperature. Write a formula for delta T as a function of T. My proportionality is right there. And then I'm looking for the temperature, the change delta T in the temperature T of the coffee. So that will be T minus 70. That is the difference. That's the change. It's the difference between the temperature of the coffee and the room temperature. Um, this is your room temperature, and T is your coffee. So the difference between the coffee temperature and the room temperature is T minus 70, and I multiply that by K. Problem 18. For the function z in terms of q is q cubed plus 5. Find the value of the dependent variable. Here z is your dependent variable and q is independent variable. Find the value of the dependent variable that corresponds to a value of the q is equal to 4. So z of f of 4 is equal to 4 cubed plus 5, which is 69. And next, the rest of the question is here. Find the value of the independent variable that corresponds to the value of the dependent variable. Z is 6. So q cubed plus 5 is equal to 6. Q cubed is equal to 1. Q is the cube root, so I'm going to take cube root of 1. So Q is equal to 1. So the value of Q that corresponds to 6 is 1. That means F of 1 is 6. The following questions all relate to the graph that you see on 1.4. And for problem 2, A, it's asking what are the coordinates of the points P, Q, and R. For P, it is negative 2, 2. Negative 2 and 2. This is your 0, 0 starting. And for Q, that would be 2 and negative 1. Q is right here, 2 and negative 1. Oops. And R would be 7 and 3. R here this is 7, and this is your origin, and 3. This point is 7, 3. All right. Part B is the point 2, -5 on the curve. So x equals 2, y is equal to 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is not on the curve. So this answer for this is no. Part C is 5, -2 on the curve. X equals 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And y is equal to -2. Oops. 5 and -2. Looks like, yes, it is on the curve. And for D, what is f of 5? That means when x equals 5, y is, I'm going to erase this. When x equals 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, y is equal to -2. So this is equal to -2, which is the same question with C. And E, find x if f of x is equal to -1. So this means when if y is equal to -1, x is equal to, I'm gonna erase this. So I'm looking for y is equal to -1. Comes back here. And x is equal to 2. So f of 2 is equal to -1. And f is f of 4 equals -1, true or false? When x is 4, is y -1? 1, 2, 3, 4. Y is actually -2, so it is false. Find y when x is 2. When x is 2, y is, we did that before, -1. It was this point. And h, and x equals, what does it say? Find x when y is equal to 2. So here it's asking when y is equal to 2, which is this point here, if you draw a line, y is equal to 2, there is 1, 2, 3 points, and those points are when x is equal to -2, and then x is equal to 0, and x is approximately 6.8, because this is my 0 here. So this point is -2, 2, this point is 0, 2, and that point is 6.8, comma 2. And I solve f of x is equal to 0. So that means I have my y is equal to 0 is f of x is equal to 0. So y is equal to 0 line, if you recall, is this point, is this horizontal axis. So there is 1, 2, and 3 solutions, and those are x is equal to -3, x is equal to 1, and x is equal to approximately 6.1, 6.2, so forth. And J, solve f of 0. That means when x is 0, what is y? And I'm gonna find that here. When x is 0, y is 2. That would be your answer. All right, and this will be the end of my short video, and next video will be over section 1.1, 1.5. Thank you.